Okay, good evening, guys. Welcome to Chart and Chats. June 20th, long weekend. It's about to end. And the futures are a little bit up, 130% right now from this is the 130%. It includes all the weekend, these mornings and Sundays and everything when it's extended. So I have some topics for you today, and one of them actually Kevin was here before, but I think he left. But anyway, the idea is how to identify levels in order to get in and out on trades, right? So we're gonna do it from the scratch, and what I brought today was a small watch list that we're gonna be working with here. Let me find it. Where's my watch list? Watch list. Okay, here it is. I have a watch list that I prepare for tomorrow. So what are we gonna do is gonna go with this watch list here, and I'm gonna go from. So I'm gonna go, and from my template, I'm gonna link it here to. Gonna link. What is that? I'll link it to number 7. Okay, so let's start with AMD, and we're gonna go from the daily. Maximize sales. Okay, so what we have here is a daily, and I'm gonna do from scratch, right? Create that round set, and this is. Okay, so I have here the daily, and what I usually do is apply the methodology of looking for peaks and valleys. And peaks and valleys are, this is a peak, is where for you who are very familiar with the retracements and everything, is when we have a swing and then we made another swing. So we have to identify those type of peaks and valleys. So what I'm going to start doing is, for example, this is the obvious first one on the top. And I'm going to look for the one in the bottom, which is this previous low. So right now I have a big range here. Of course, we can go farther in time, but right now, what I'm going to be looking is for tomorrow, right? So what can happen tomorrow, we can either go to the upside or downside, and to the downside, I don't have levels. So I have to look for another valley here, which is this one. And I see there is another one here, very small one. Okay. What else we see? To the upside, we have one here. This is a peak. This is another peak. And this is another peak. So I have some levels there on the daily time frame. You can do weekly. I don't usually do weeklies, but you use it a lot. And I'm gonna plug one more IC here. For example, this one here. What will be the next one here for this? Maybe this. Okay. So I have some levels here. Now I can zoom in a little bit. and just corroborate the levels that I have here. I go here and try to see, identify also the EMAs. Those are also good reference. So I see that this one goes, if you see this peak goes with the 4, with the 8, I'm gonna plot the 13 and the 20 and the 50. Okay, so we have those already. Now we're gonna go to the hourly, and we're gonna use the same. And now in the hourly, we can look for more specific peaks and valleys here. For example, I have to adjust this because I was this one. And what else we have here? The hourly, what other level in the short term could be? We have some support in here and on this level. If you can see, we have this low, and this low. So we have to try to this close. Sometimes you tell me, I mean, where do you put it? Do you put it right here, right here? The more areas that you plug, for example, if I put this one here, it goes too much. But I think this one is fine, because if I plot it here, I take this one, I take this one, and I almost take that one. So now you have levels for AMD, right? What else we can do to identify levels? Okay, to the downside, we have here this retracement. So you have plenty of levels already there. If you can see, the 61.8 matches with very, very, very close to this one, 38 with this one. So, okay, we're good to go. Now that I have all this, I go to my the shortest time frame, my 10-minute. And now I do have levels for tomorrow, right? And then you can see, I mean, regardless of what happens tomorrow, you're already very good at identify levels. What other levels are important intraday? Obviously, the previous day high and low. So our previous day high and low is this one here. So we plug it here, and this one. Okay. So we don't need this anymore. We have 79, 78. We can use this one. And we can use the one in the middle, right? This one. Okay. So now I get rid of my pivots. And now I do have levels already for tomorrow on AMD. What is the next thing that I'm going to do to prepare, for example, to tomorrow? I have to identify what is the pivot in the very short term. What I mean pivot is find a support and resistance level where you see that from that point on the upside, the AMD becomes bullish, and to the downside becomes bearish, but on a very, very short term. So let's look for it here. We have a valley here, and we have a peak. I do use a lot pre-market as well, with underlines like AMD and big caps, right? That they have decent volume. So in the nearest short term, the most common way to find it is to find the 50 MA, right? Or the 13. So I have to look for a level here again, where I see that from that level, it becomes bullish. So let's see, and we're gonna put it here. I don't know if you agree with me. You look for it and it's around, I would say this area, okay? And I'm gonna put it in blue and it's gonna be dotted. So what I mean with pivot, it's everything that is above this area, it start going bullish, right? And when it's below, if you see, we have some resistance here, support. This then became resistance. So this is the pivot. So that's the way I find the pivots. And when I do my watch list, I say over breaking the 82.09, we have room to 82.93, 84.58. And obviously this other level, 86.71, okay? That's on the upside. To the downside, if we break 82.09, or if we continue in this case below 82.09, we have room to 80.80, 79.45, 78.
Alfonso, you have a question in chat.
Yeah. How do I determine? Again, I plot my levels in the daily and the hourly, and I look for the nearest level that I have. I have this one here and this one here, right? So I look for in this range, I'm gonna look for a level where this becomes bullish or bearish, right? So if you can see this line, everything from here rebounds to the upside, here, upside, here, upside, or if it breaks, it comes to the downside. So that is the pivot for this day, right? So the most important thing is you have to do it in the big picture first with your daily. Very important. This is the daily. Here we have the daily, right? So we plot everything here, plot, right? And now we go to the 10 minutes and we look where the price is right now. The price is around 81.56. Okay, from that point, what are the nearest levels that I plot in the daily and the hourly? This one and this one, okay? Okay, between those levels, where is the pivot? Where I see difference? And we're gonna do a lot of example, guys. So, but this is the way that I do it. I use a lot either the 50 is a very good way to identify it, yes, where the 50 it is, or the 13. All depends how extended or not it is. But the 50 MA, it's also a good. Sometimes the 50 MA it's already extended, like for example here. So you look for another area when you really see support and resistance. But the idea is that we're gonna do several. Okay, let's do another example, right? So let's go back. And of course, it's very important to see what other things I see here, right? Okay, let's do it. What would I do here also? Okay, you have to look. This is the daily downtrend, which is very, very important. You see that is below the. So this chart on the daily looks bearish, right? On the hourly is bearish as well. So we do have another trend line here on the hourly. Downtrend. Oh my God. We can use this downtrend, very small downtrend, which is very important. So you have here the downtrend. And then if you go to your 10 minutes, you see where the downtrend, so it's on the downside, right? So you already have an idea, and of course you your 10-minute downtrend, which this one also help you a lot to determine a pivot. For example, I have this high here, and I'm gonna go, I try to do only market hours. So it's around here, right? This is the trend that it has right now. So if you see the pivot is very close to that uptrend or downtrend that you see. So you can either say that the pivot could be, you can even argue, okay, the pivot will be here when it breaks this downtrend. And it makes sense as well, right? You have, so it's not an exact point, but more or less you can do it that way. So you use different type of reference, right? Trends, peaks and valleys, support and resistance levels. But at the end of the day, the pivot is the nearest support or resistance level in your intraday chart. FSIL, that answer your question, I assume, right? So now we're going again, and we're gonna do all this in order to practice, guys. DDD. Okay, we do the same. We do go from scratch. Chats. And we got, usually I take 1 to 2 years, even 3, all depends. If you, for example, here, you don't have anything to the downside, so you need a 3rd year, right? To get some reference here, because all this is air from here to here. So it's, if you already have a lot of congestion here, so you don't need much time to the, or farther go back, right? So now let's start here with this level. Let's look for peaks and valleys, right? Okay, the peak, valley, low. Of course, it's very unlikely that tomorrow we're gonna visit these levels, but anyway, we're gonna have another valley, very obvious here, right? Another peak here, very obvious as well. What is the next valley here? Here, see? I have this point, this level, I take it here, and this top as well. Here, this is another valley. Obviously, this low is another valley. My always my 4, my 8, my 13, my 20, and the 50, right? So we already have levels there. Okay, what if we break this? What other level? Here, this is very obvious here. And this one is another one. Okay, so we go to the next one. It's the hourly. Okay. So we have here, we have this level. Okay, we have to, I was saying what I don't see any. Okay. So you have this one, we have a gap here. You can even draw a gap if you're looking that you have gaps. You have a very well, so it's good to identify the gaps and color them, right? Let's say, let's color it this way. We have a gap there, so we know that there's a gap. And here we have another gap. All the way down here. We'll color them as well. Okay, we have a second gap there. All right, what else we see? Here we have some kind of a range. This was like an exception, but I see another interesting level around this area, right? And maybe this one. So I have it here. You want to do some pivots to the downside. We can do it from this level to this level here. So we can identify and corroborate our. So we have this level here. So I usually go, I already have here the 50. I go for the 61.8 always is a good, and the 10%. $52. Okay. So we're all set. I don't need this anymore. What else I look here? I have a trend. I have a trend here, which is important. And I have another trend here. Okay. So now we go to the 10-minute. Choose the same level shots. And now we have here interesting setup for DuPont, right? So, for example, here is very easy to identify a pivot. The pivot is going to be right here. Around this area. Okay, this is the pivot. Got in blue, we dash it. Blue, I said blue. Okay. So you see what I chose this because between levels that I have here, I have this level. The price is around this area. What is my nearest level that I plot already? This one, okay? So where I have my support and resistance level, the closest one, I would say will be this one. And I don't really like it at all. So I'm gonna try to find another more. See, I like this one because I have this low, this low there. So you can see right here, from here it rebounds, from here it rebound, from here breaks this one, it comes down. So it makes sense, no? So that is my pivot. So what do you do if you have your watch list? Okay, DD, the price is around here. If it breaks 65.89, I have room to, and very important, always previous day high. It's always a pivot, it's always a level. Previous day high. So if it breaks 56.39, we have 56.92. Next level. And here's when you see sometimes that you hear me say, okay, if we break this level, we're gonna go hard. Why? Because we don't have anything in the level. So the next level is around this area, right? So, oh, come on. Activate. So we have this one here. So I know that if we break 56.92, we go quick to 58.14. And that is a strong resistance. Why? Because it's the beginning of the gap that we already identified. So right now, what we find on this level is that we break the downtrend. We're about the pivot, we break the downtrend, we break the previous high, then we have room all the way. So on the downside, on the other part, if we break 56.76, we have a stop here at 55.70 and then 55.18, right? So you already have identified this level for tomorrow. And if you want to go to the downside on this one, what I would do probably is fine. Of course, you have to see how's the overnight, but you look for the high and low here. And what you would do is look for the 61.8, right? To get a short at that point. Once it hits 56.62, I go to the downside. Hi, Lucas. Yes, we do it this is the first time that I open it for everybody, but we do it every Thursday. Yes, sir. Welcome. So here it is, guys. So what I would do tomorrow, if we are in the same level, more or less. So you know what is the best entry for DD? To wait for a retracement of 61.8, and then we take it, and you see how good our levels match, right? The 61.8 is on this 55.70. Well, that's our target, right? And we have another one here. Okay, let's do another one. Everybody agree? So we can practice. This is the best way to do it. We do another one, yes? And all these are valid valid place for tomorrow, guys. This is already some homework that I did with these underlines. So Ford, what do we have for Ford? Okay, same stuff, right? We go to our daily. We're gonna do it from scratch. Many people don't like Ford because it's a $10, but sometimes it moves very nicely. When it moves here, for example, it gives you very, so I have a ton of alerts if you see here, but okay. So we have very quick, right? We're gonna make some levels, very quick levels here. You already know, peak, peak, peak. I have another peak here, another peak here. Valleys, let's go for valleys. Valley, I have a valley on the low, another valley here, area, another valley here, another valley here, one more here. And we have here, we have another one. Here we have another one. So you see, we already have it, right? Peaks and valleys. Next chart, hourly. Okay. Chats. What do we have here? Can we consider this a gap? Yes, could be a gap. Could be a gap. Small one, but gap at the end of the day. This is a gap that it might be in play tomorrow. So we just, I like just to color it differently here. Like for example, this here, okay. That's a gap. And I'm gonna move this to this here. Okay. What else I miss here? My EMAs, right? Which are always important because this one is extended. So here's one, here's another, and here this is covered, right? So those levels. So I already have here some levels on. I see that this one is a little bit off. So I put it here. We see we have a downtrend. Very important. We have a couple of downtrend here, which is this level to the next one here. The first one, how do you draw it? You put it here on the highest point and you make it to the first point of touch, right? And I have another one here that we can use. And even this one. I have several. All these will help me out in the future for resistance. They always work, right? When you go, there's always resistance on this level. So you have there, I see that we have a bullish divergence here on the MACD as well. So this is like, wants to like reverse, see? If we see Ford, what we can look here for is interesting. We've been on a downtrend and then we gap down, but we're in a reverse more because we are extended on the daily more than anything else. So we are extended, so it's very likely that tomorrow we'll be looking to retest the 4 EMA, right? Which is here. Okay. So now go to the 10 minutes. We have the 10 minute here. We extended. This is the nearest trend that I can find here. Again, the intraday trends, guys, I try to do it only with, I don't take in consideration overnights. So I try to look for another level here, for example, from here to here. And then if I put here the chats, now I can identify easily what is my pivot. And the pivot here looks like is like this one, right? This is the pivot here. So you can see it very easily. Why the pivot? From here we have rebound. From here this is resistance. Here is support. Resistance here, support there. So this is a nice pivot, right? So you already know that from this area to the upside, from this point to the downside. And you already have your levels. Always previous day low is a level. Always previous day high is a level. Where is it? Actually, this is not previous day. Remove. This is previous day low, previous day high. Okay, so we have levels here already. Four. To the downside, we don't have levels. What do we do, Alfonso? We don't have levels to the downside. Let's see if there is more in the daily first. We go to the daily and look for the nearest valley, which is this one, right? And from there, here. Now we go to the daily or to the hourly. Sorry. And if we wouldn't have levels to the downside, guys, what is the best way to find levels? We do retracements. So we look from our previous range that I would say probably, what is the previous range? So I would say this one, right? This is a good previous range. So let's say from this high to this low is the previous range that I have on 4 on the hourly. And then you have levels there. So now you can find here a level and here another level. And then when you go to your 10 minutes, you have your levels for the day. Right? You have this one. You have the 50. and you just remove it. So, okay, so you have your levels here. Breaking 1122, room to 1112, 1090, 1083. On the upside, if we break 1140, we have 1165, 1191. Alfonso, question for after you discuss this point, do you always clear your charts? No, actually I did it. What do you mean? I always have a main at the default that I have already my levels there. Usually, where is it? But no, I leave them all. They're always there. Those levels, I always use them. For example, McDonald's, if you see, I already have levels here. This is the daily. Some charts have more levels than others because I don't trade them that often. But for example, we're gonna work here on McDonald's now. So any questions so far, guys? Nope. Okay. Shall we continue? Okay. Next one on the dock, we have McDonald's. And McDonald's. What do we can see on McDonald's, guys? Well, we can see on McDonald's. We see that is making a triangle here, right? So McDonald's is about to do something interesting if it breaks this. We have a huge spike in volume. So it seems that it wants to make another, we'll see. But anyway, what are we gonna do with these levels here? So we have, very importantly, our 5, our 4, this 8. But you know, I'm gonna do it, I'll get back. I'm gonna do it from scratch for you. Create that one, this is for cards. Okay, let's do it here very quick. Pick, another pick. Okay, we have valleys, un valley, another valley here, and another valley here. We have another one there. All right. What about here? What do we see here? Maybe this one. No, this one. Here. No, so I'm gonna go with the 4, with the 8, and the 30. Okay, so now we have daily. We go to the hourly. They make sense. It has to be here, makes sense. So we said that we have a nice pattern forming here, right? So let's do it. Let's have it here. From this peak here that we have here, I draw this, and now I try to look where is the other auto zoom. From this to this area, so more or less we have it there, right? Actually, it's from here. Yeah, it works. Okay, so we already have those levels on the hourly. What other I can see here? Maybe this is a valley here. Okay, got it. So now we go again to the 10-minute. And we have also here let me put this one here, charts. And I can see another short-term downtrend here. Okay, anybody can tell me where do you see, what level do you like for pivot here? Anyone? Anyone? In the meantime, I'm gonna put the high of the previous high here. And previous low, we already have it. Anyone has an idea? Or do you like it for, I would say here, right? Everything goes down there from here. So my pivot will be, where's the price? The price is around here. I have one level here. So it can be either this level here or this one. I like this more because it's also, once it breaks this one, breaks the trend, this is small trend. So I will change this to, and that's my pivot. So breaking 235.52, room to 236.47, 238.65 to the downside. If it continues below this level, next target 232.20. And we don't have, and 228.31. Let me just corroborate here these levels. I don't have much here, so if you want to have more levels on the downside here, you look for this. And now you have another level there. See? Actually, this has a very tight range. Usually this should be an inside candle. Let's see, we have an inside day. Nope. No, it's not an inside day. But also makes sense that pivot there, right? Okay, so we have McDonald's. Now we go with mosaic. So should we do it back again already? New create drawing charts. Okay, so we do it again. And it's the same, guys. Sometimes it gets boring, but it is the way that, so that is the reason that I leave the levels. I don't have to do this every time, right? More with frequent. We go for the 4, we go for the 8, we go for the 13, we go for the 20. We go for the 50 here. Valley here. Peak there. This is a valley. This is a peak. Another valley. Another small peak here. So we are here. Okay. So now we'll go to the hourly again. Look for my, not this one. It looks nice. I can do another one here on the hourly. This one that is very obvious here. Also have a trend. Here's my trend there. You can argue that there's another trend there, but it's too. All right, we can leave it like that. 10-minute. Chart. I'm gonna get rid of this one because I like more this trend, right? This is the one that is gonna rule for tomorrow. I would say right here. So what is my pivot? Very obviously here. This is my pivot for tomorrow. Of course, if we have a gap up or gap down, you have to adjust that, right? But this is for. So you have your pivot and you have your previous low here. You adjust it. Okay. So this is Mosaic, for example, here looks very interesting if it breaks 4102 because you have all the way to 47. So, but below here, you already, if we break this level here, we have 4903 and then 4701. So this one is gonna have some range because you don't see anything on the downside here, right? You wanna know more specific levels to the downside, and again, high of the day, low, you will try to get it around this area. So right now it's perfectly for a short. It's on the 61.8 there. Looking for at least this target here. 47 and 40.10. See? So now you can have it here very well. Identify there. Oh, come on. Move it. I don't know what I can move. Okay.
Let's see what he's looking at. LOS.
So you see it? So this is how I do it, guys. Any questions? Anyone with questions? You want me to do one more? Let's go with pen.
I need to get on Thinkorswim.
You do? D. Okay, so let's go to pen here. Jesus, this pen is in pain. Let's have this level here. This is the main downtrend. And we have this valley here. For example, we need more levels here. Time frame, let's put 3 years. See, okay, we have this, so let's look for more levels here. I will say this one. Jesus Christ, full pen. It's a deep problem. Okay, we have some here. Pick, and pick. I'm gonna go to the hourly. Let's remove this. Remove it. We have another trend here. This is an uptrend here. And it seems that wants to come to make the next leg down here. So what we can do, there is a gap. So what we do is take this high to this low. So the best entry for pen is like wait for the 28.31 and then take it short, you see. But anyway, we're not gonna jump on that yet. Let me just, on the daily, always I do my 20, my 13, my 8, and my 4. Okay, so now we can go to the day, 10-minute. And we have a clear picture, right? So you can see here that what we should be waiting is either a break here. If it break to the upside, I will wait. We have room to 28.31, and I will take a short here. Either you have two plays here on pen, either on the break on 27.60 to 28.31, and then a short in this area. See? So now you see how you can identify what place you can have for tomorrow, right? So this is another important level, which is previous low. And we're gonna do previous high. And my pivot here will be, was definitely this area. This is my pivot. So if it reaches 27.57, room again to 28.31, and I will take a short here. But I think that we have a needs to hold this uptrend here. If it holds this uptrend, you have room to 28.31, and then here to take it short. Okay, so that's pen. Another one similar, it's win. In win we have, okay, let's make it from scratch. Same guys, we have to draw our downtrend here, main downtrend. If the downtrend is too far, you can take another one. Why on the daily? Because those are the strongest, right? Okay. So we're gonna have this level here. We have another very clear valley, another valley here. Why don't I take this low? Because I'd rather take this two, right? And then I have this one here. And I would say this one here, okay. So I zoom in. I'm gonna adjust this one better to the 4 EMA, right there. I take the 8. I take the 13, I take the 20, and here's the 50, right? Now we can adjust it to be more precise. Okay, you have here, yeah, makes sense because it goes with this low, this close. Okay, perfect. So now we go with the hourly. See if it makes sense. We can have another trend here. Okay, that's a trend. Do I see another level that I should cover in the hourly? Yes, maybe this one. Here. And definitely adjust this one around this area. Okay. So I don't have more levels on the downside here. So I take a small retracement from this high to this low. And now I have you can put something in the 50 or to have in between, right? Okay, so now we go to the 10-minute AutoZone charts. Look for your nearest trend, also the shortest term trend. I would say from here to this level. So now you can find your pivot around this area. I would say pivot. Here's the pivot. Here's the pivot. Okay, so now we have levels to the downside, right? Here it is. Okay, get rid of this. Now we know that if we're gonna play tomorrow win to the downside, we wait to break 54.75. Then we have room to 54.20, 53.24, and all the way to 51. I don't like this, that it has a lot of range, so I look for something else. Do I see anything else? Oh, there's nothing. So here's a quick drop. Let's go to the hourly. What do we have here? Nothing. Let's see, 90 days. There's nothing, guys, here. So here it's interesting, but because if we break this level 53.60 on win, we have a quick 3 points range there. So that's another interesting one that I will be paying attention, right? Because it has range. Same on to the upside, because to the upside you have all the way to the 50. So this looks interesting as well. And what do we have on the daily? Yeah, we have it looks more like a reverse setup, but we'll see tomorrow how it goes. So let me see. I do run errands and I'm eating dinner at the moment. So okay, any questions, guys? So now you got a very good detail. How do once I find some interesting opportunities, how I do my levels, right? I don't know if you have other questions. So it's very important. First, go to your daily. Look for peaks and valleys, right? Look for trends. What is the uptrend on the daily? What is the down and the uptrend, right? We can find both here. You have an uptrend, which is from here to here. You have downtrend, right? If the downtrend, because actually the main downtrend is this one, right? If the downtrend is too far from your level, okay, what is the next one from here to here? Still too far from here to here. You can even have another one here, right? From here to here, right? Which is the ones that I did on the hourly on the 10-minute. What those are important because those are, as well as support and resistance levels, those trends are also very strong support and resistance. And when it breaks, the way to play it, and for example here, how do you play this trend break. Okay, what happens here is, and the way that you have to play always this type of plays here. Let me just put out my drawing tool here. For example, let's assume that it breaks here. So you wait for the break and it's gonna come down and retest. Once it retests, then you take it long, right? That's the way that you play the trend break. Same here on your pivot. It breaks the pivot, confirms, you wait for a retest to the pivot, and then you take a short. It could be in the next candle or can be in the next two, but it's better to wait to retest. It retests, and once it breaks this low, you're good to go, right? Or once it rejects, you can go. There are two ways to do it. Or either you wait, it breaks, and then you wait for a retest here. And when it breaks this previous, you go short here, or you can go from here. All depends. Okay. So that's the way that the way that you play those ones. So we have, okay. So that is how I explain. I'm gonna leave you here with I'm gonna post in the VIP the watch list, this one, so you can do your homework as well. I don't know if you want to share any, if you want to go through some charts. Now is your time to share your charts and tell me what you want me to look for. I'm all ears. Anyone? Yeah, the retest is very important. Very, very important. And to be honest, I never patient to wait for it. I always teach it and I never follow it. And that's what I'm always a little bit early. But that is the reason that I always go with the starter, right? But if you don't want to go with the starter, wait for a retest and then you can go full size in the beginning. That's another way to do it. So I joined late if you covered this. No, Kevin, I haven't. Gap days. Yeah, but for gap days, you mean, but we have to wait for tomorrow morning. You prepare those gaps pre-market in the morning. Once you see a gap, yes, that is another way to. What I usually look for is volume. And for me, I found that I have found that the underlines that have relative volume on pre-market, and when I mean it's at least 1.5 to 2 times minimum above previous 15 or 21 days, and they are gapping. Usually those are gapping. Those are very good candidates to play it. Thank you, Alfred. So that's it, guys. So if you don't have any other charts that we can go through, and if you have anyone, you already know how to identify them and plot your levels. But this hopefully help you out, so you don't have to be waiting for me to give you levels and everything. You can very easily, of course, I always will give you levels, but I also want you to see how they are found, and also you can look for them very quickly once you're in a trade during the day. Tesla, yeah, actually it's here. You can see here it is. So let's go with Tesla. Let's do a new Tesla, new drawing, create drawing set, charts. Okay, so we do the same. We go to the daily. So you can see I have an obscene amount of levels already in Tesla, right? Okay, let's see. First, we go to the basics, valley area, peak. We have a peak here. More peaks. Okay, another valley here. Now we go with the trend. We have one trend here. We see that it's far. We go for the next one. It's around here. Okay. What other levels we might be interesting here? Here we have some range here, so I'm gonna plot this one as well. Okay, so now we go to the hourly. And now we see that we have more peaks here on the hourly. So I'm gonna take this one. Oh, forgot also something very important on the daily. My EMAs, right? 8, 13, 15. Okay, now that I have those, so I look for my trend on the hourly. And you can differentiate, for example, you can put in another color this trend that comes from the daily, no? And now you know that it's stronger than this one. That if it breaks this one, it's gonna very likely get some resistance here, but also this one will work also as a reference. So we have this valley here and this one here. Okay, so we're good to go. Daily, we have another trend here, the Chorus trend that we have. So we already have a trend on the hourly. Now we're gonna do our 10-minute trend, which is here. Okay. And we have an uptrend as well. So this pivot is gonna be easy to locate, right? It's gonna be here in the middle of the, I would say, here will be the pivot. So here we have Tesla, pivot to the upside, 6644.71. If we break this down, downtrend, room to 662, 673. Breaking 644, room to 634, 625, 619. To be honest, this looks bearish as well, because if we go to the hourly, we have a downtrend. Daily as well, and it's not extended. If you see the 4 EMA already retrace. So I think that Tesla could be a nice short, breaking 654. And if it's too far and you don't like this one, you can probably adjust this one to this level here. Definitely this one and this one is going to be in play tomorrow because it's the low of the day, previous day, right? So 639. So 647.90, it's one level, and you have room to 639, which is quite a bit. Maybe you have another level here as well. So that's Tesla. I like it for a short tomorrow with these levels in 647.90, 643.40, 639.29. see you, Cami. It's looking weak. Yes, sir. It is. And actually we have to, but here is everything about this. Probably I will change this one. Remove drawing and I will take this here. Why? Because it's in market. So it's everything about this triangle here. And it looks that because of the trend that has here, can go down, right? But again, wait for a break. This is a very big gap, confirmation, retest, and then you take it to the downside. Yeah, that's, well, it will be on watch here, guys. And it's, again, it's part of the watch list that I have for tomorrow. If you see it here. Penn, Win, Nike, Procter & Gamble, Starbucks, Tesla, Home Depot, Eli Lilly, Walgreens, Coca-Cola, and Domino's Pizza. So that's it, guys. I don't know if you have another one. If not, we can call it a day and see you tomorrow. But if you want to see another one, I'm open. If not, you're welcome, my friends. See you tomorrow. For those who are not in the VIP room, you're more than welcome to join us. And hopefully you have a great week. So see you tomorrow. Thank you. Adios.